The only sure thing about technology that it is evolving. The first time I saw the Intel logo was in my first laptop, and now I am very concerned that the Intel intelligence is in every single device that I have. However, Intel is way more than the intelligence and the chip of the computer. Now we have Darren Pulsipher, the Chief Enterprise Solution Architect at Intel. Darren, thank you and welcome to Chile and to the Congress.
Thank you. I love your city here in Santiago. It's a beautiful place.
Yes.
I got to meet a lot of really neat people here too.
Yes, the know-how and the know-who is the most important here.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding out.
Let me ask you, Darren, about the cybersecurity, which is your expertise, especially in the cloud, because this has been evolving a lot, and if we find the right partner to the cloud and wherever and all the details that it is involved, it's important to have the right decision. So what do you advise the directors or the CTOs of big companies in order to decide for the right cloud?
You know, that's a great question. What we're seeing is a lot of options right now in cloud technology, so it's hard to make that decision. So I actually sit down with CIOs and I talk to them about coming up with a cloud strategy. So if you have a strategy, then you can quickly develop criteria that you want to use to pick which cloud service providers you're going to use. And I typically recommend that they use more than one. The reason why is because you want that flexibility to move as markets move, as costs go up or go down. You want the ability to move quickly between those. So we really talk to them about using a hybrid cloud or a hybrid cloud strategy so that they can take advantage of all the benefits of the different clouds depending on the workloads that they're using.
Is this cloud as a service?
Well, yeah, it kind of is when you think of it that way.
So
yeah.
You pay on demand. You are using it more and you pay more?
On demand for what you use. And there's benefits and downsides to that. Sometimes if you're not watching what you're doing in the cloud, your costs can spiral out of control. But if you are watching and you have that strategy in place, then you know what you want to put and how much it's going to cost you. So you can't just throw everything over the wall, because that can cost you a lot of money. So you have to be smart in what you're doing. And that's where, you know, people say, well, what does Intel have to do with this? Because we manufacture the chips. Well, we want all of the people that are using our technology, whether in the cloud or in their own facilities, to be successful in what they do. Because if they are, they're going to come up with new creative ways of providing new things to their customers. And they're going to use more of our technology to do that. And that's what we really want to see happen.
After the strategy that you just mentioned, what about the artificial intelligence involved in the cloud and how to manage the data?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're seeing a really big move right now in artificial intelligence, and people don't know what to do with it. It's exciting. They see these chatbots out there. They see other things. Oh, what can I do with it? So what we try and do is we try and get the hype out of all that in artificial intelligence and come up with strategies with them on what can they use artificial intelligence for, to capture customers more effectively, to give the customers what they really want, to generate new ways of monetizing the data that they may already have in their data centers. So these are all different things that we can talk to them about, and then we can show them how they can use some of the artificial intelligence technologies that are out there to help them improve their business.
Now, the key is not the data, it's that data scientist who can give you the proper decisions in order for you to make.
Yeah, in fact, having a good data scientist is important.
Is that part of the consulting that Intel provides, or we need to have our own data scientist in-house?
Well, you know, sometimes we do help organizations with data scientists, but we would rather teach you how to fish than to fish for you. So we can help you find out where the data scientists are, which schools are training people in data science. You know, and we even have programs that we're helping universities to actually create new data scientists, because this area is so important to making your company successful in the future. So we try and lift everyone all together. So we can point people in several different directions and give them an approach that they can use.
what kind of threats we can have in order to have the data in the cloud, and what kind of protection we need in the cloud?
That's a great question. We're seeing a lot of people being concerned about data and a lot of new data laws that are coming out into effect, like data governance. Where's my data? How do I know someone else doesn't have it? So we have a lot of techniques that we can use through data encryption, establishing root of trust, so I know that my data doesn't leave my facility, or even governments are coming to us and saying, we don't want our data leaving the country. And with cloud, there's that possibility that you're like, whoa, my data's out in this cloud now, where can it go? And it can move very quickly from place to place. So we're helping the cloud service providers and also technologists inside their own organizations come up with ways to prevent that from happening. So it's a very important part of what we do.
I know that Intel doesn't stop with innovation, and you don't stop about developing those environments to create that innovation. What can you share about your concerns about the future of cloud technologies?
So, what we're seeing right now with cloud, all the major cloud service providers have quickly learned that not everything's going to go into their data centers. And they've started recently making it so that their cloud services can run in your own data center. And that's kind of the beginning of the hybrid cloud that we're seeing really move forward. And we've been kind of promoting that idea for years because we know there's going to be certain things that enterprises won't be comfortable giving to somebody else. There will always be that little bit of something that they're not willing to let a cloud service provider have. So we're seeing the cloud service providers see the same thing, and now they're starting to stand up, their services in your own data center for you. I'm also seeing a shift from the typical OEMs like Dell and HPE or Supermicro or Huawei, where they're coming up with new models to provide hardware for you in your data center based off of consumption instead of owning the machine itself. So the whole industry right now is in this inflection point where what's going to happen? It's an exciting time.
Very interesting. Now, because Intel is a global company, you have case studies from everywhere in the world. Could you share, taking care of the confidentiality, of course, what kind of interesting case studies implementing this cloud you have here in Latin America?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I guess it's 2 years ago, we started working with a traditional hosting service out of Brazil. And they wanted to make the shift to not just providing machines to their customers, but providing more of a cloud infrastructure for their customers. And it took us about 1.5 years to architect and build out with them a new cloud infrastructure. And they got a return on investment with their customers in 9 months.
Wow.
It's a big deal for them. And now they've grown more and more, which is exactly the sort of thing that we want to see. We want to see our customers grow. And this is a thriving economy right now. This is good news for everyone.
Yes, 9 months, it means that the adoption of the technology became fast, became implemented and returns very fast. That is very impressive.
Very fast, yeah. So I think what we're seeing overall in the industry is things are moving a lot faster now than they have in the past. And cloud has really given us that opportunity. Because now IT organizations or development teams don't have to wait for a server to arrive. It's already in their data center and they can utilize it when they need it. And so they're coming up with new creative ways of generating services to their customers and generating new revenue streams that companies have never even thought of before. So it's an exciting time for everyone.
Thank you, Darren, for sharing these tips. I know you have plenty of more details about the strategy and how to properly implement that cloud strategy or hybrid strategy with the audience that is waiting for you now, and then you will go to run to the airport. So I cannot retain you more. And if you want to go and watch his presentation in the whole thing, just go and click this link below. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.